Hi, I'm Tom McDonald. I'm the Executive Director of S.T.E.M Sailing. I grew up in Jersey City in a time and a place that was a very different city than it is today. It was a dangerous place. Drugs were all over the city. I was a product of my environment. I was there, and things weren't really good. A few years ago, I looked back at some of the people I knew. I realized that more than 20 guys I knew died before they were 24 years old. It was a pretty tough place, and I was lucky I got through it. I was very blessed. I ended up being a highly successful businessman. After 9/11, my view of things changed. My wife had an office in the first tower to collapse. We went to funerals and wakes for body parts for months. It got me thinking about how lucky we were and how lucky I was. I wanted to find a way to give back to the place that I grew up in, because in many ways I loved that place. I still do. Out of 9/11, I developed my sailing skills. I became a licensed Coast Guard captain. I became an American Sailing Association instructor. I can use this as that vehicle to help kids in my old place. So I started S.T.E.M Sailing. The idea is to get young people into a different place in their heads, to broaden their view of the universe a little bit. Getting them out on the water, seeing how boats work, seeing the bigger metropolitan areas, seeing how beautiful New York Harbor is, how large it is, how it's a universe in and unto itself. Also, sailboats were the state of the art in technology for a long time. Science, technology, engineering, and math. That's what sailboats were about for thousands of years. My thought was, if I share some of those with young people, they're going to get their schoolwork differently. They're going to say, wow, I can connect this to the real world. That's something that I want to know more about. That's what S.T.E.M sailing is meant to do. Talk about some science, some engineering, some math, but not in a hardcore way. It's enough that they get interested, that they see a value, and they see a context. So that's what we're doing. We have a winter program coming up. The objective is to teach children about sailing science over the course of the winter, so be prepared to go sailing next summer. We're segmenting it into two programs. The learning academic part. We'll do once every 2 weeks. We'll have a classroom session for about an hour and show some sailing videos, talk about basics of sailing. We'll practice making knots, talk about what jibing, tacking, how to heave to, and basic stuff. Put it in the context of science and math. We'll talk about time, speed, and distance calculation, basic algebra. We'll talk about lift, sails or foils, basic physics. We'll talk about the Venturi principle, talk about Archimedes' principle, some really basic science. And hopefully we'll get 30 or 40 children interested enough that they come every 2 weeks. They learn something. They interact with some kids that they go to school with in a way that they wouldn't have before. By the time the weather gets warmer next summer, they'll be ready to go out on a sailboat and have some fun. We click with a few kids and they say, you know what, this little universe that I live in is just that. It's a little universe. It's not the total world. It's a world that I can expand out of. Trying to instill at the same time is a belief in themselves. A belief that if they work hard, if they work smart, they can change their reality. They can change their future. I firmly believe that. That's the objective. That's the goal.